right, every day we talk about public education on the show. In Chalk Talk today, we continue to look at ways to fix our schools. Nearly 50 million students are heading off to school. This week they started 99,000 public and elementary schools in the United States this year. Now, that's roughly the same as it is every year. The issue here, of course, is that they are starting off with some major changes in place. Schools are having to operate with tighter budgets, which means fewer resources, larger class sizes, fewer teachers. Look, we've all read the stories about kids been given lists to show up to school with, you know, sanitary cloths and toilet paper and markers and things like that. Bottom line, more is being asked of students and teachers to raise these sliding test scores that we've got in public schools, to improve failing schools, to improve failing grades. Boy, it's a real push and pull. We're asking more while they've got less to deal with, in part because of the changing face of education in this country, in part because of the recession we're facing. Schools just don't have the same amount of money. So we want to talk about how we square this whole. Joining me from Washington is Thelma Meléndez de Santa Ana. She's the Assistant Secretary for Elementary and Secondary Education at the Department of Education. Thank you very much for being with us again. We had a great conversation the last time you were here, and now we're back in school. Boy, I don't know if I remember a year where there has been so much change, so much churning going on in the public education system around the country.
Yes, it's an exciting year, though, Ali, and I'm sure that you have family members who've started school, too.
Sure.
It is challenging, but it's also a time where we feel that we're providing as much support as possible. I mean, we just finished up with the Ed Jobs Fund and giving $10 billion out that Congress voted into school systems across the country to help support classrooms and teachers as they go back into school so our students have a fair shot.
Okay, a lot of the changes, I mean, the federal government, the Department of Education has actually been cited and been instrumental with a lot of these changes because it has started a remarkable movement, particularly with this race for the top, where school districts and states who are short of money are able to access federal money if they do certain things. And those things that you've set out are things that will improve performance on the part of the students. It is tough, though, to be asking that of them while they're dealing with smaller budgets.
You know, Ali, when you look at the 25% dropout rate and then also look at almost 50% dropout rate for minority students, it becomes morally unacceptable for us, and also it becomes part of, it's really bad for the economy.
Sure.
We need to do, you know, we need to improve education. I think the president said today, the path out of poverty is education. So it is a tough time, it is difficult for us, but we have an obligation to our country, to our children, to educate them in the very best way we can. If
you look at all the submissions and all the winners with the Race to the Top program, the people so far who have been, who have won and will get money from the federal government, what's the theme? What's the thing that is common to them in their efforts to raise student performance?
It's a comprehensive plan to turn around their schools, to focus and supporting them to ensure that students reach the president's goal of 2020, more college completion. That's number one. Also, that we want to see effective teachers and leaders in schools. We want to turn around those low-performing schools. We want to use data to be able to adapt our schools, our teaching, to support students so that they're successful. I mean, those are all areas that were very much a part of the Race to the Top. But, you know, we had so many states involved that we changed policies and across the nation, not just in the states where there were winners.
You are a former teacher, a former principal. One of the criticisms that have come out about Race to the Top, and I don't think it's specific to the program, but it's specific to anything that tries to change things based on student scores, is that a number of teachers have come out and said this inherently targets teachers. It makes it look like the problem is teachers. Now, you can either say the problem is teachers, or you can say the best avenue to success is teachers. But what do you believe that in the mess that we try and get out of in our lower than expected performance, what role do teachers play in that?
Teachers play a very important role. So do parents, so do administrators, so does the community. We all play a very important role in ensuring that students are successful. And I believe that, having been a teacher, having been a principal, having led a school district, that we all have to work together to ensure that students are successful. And that's what we're trying to do with Race to the Top, is to build a comprehensive system that includes states, local school districts, schools, teachers in the classroom, so that we can have an impact in the classroom for our children.
Tell me about, I don't want to drag you too far into politics, but everything's got a little politics in it. Joe Miller, the candidate for governor in Alaska, has said, and he's echoed the view of some other conservatives, that the Department of Education should just be done away with. Now, look, the context there is there are some people who think lots of departments should be done away with, but philosophically, pull back from what we all actually know about how education is run in the United States. It does seem that the Department of Education has taken a substantially bigger role in public education in the last year or two.
Well, we see our role as impacting what goes on across the country. My boss, the secretary, has done an incredible job of going state to state. We all have talking about how important it is for us to work together to improve education in the classrooms and to reach the goal of more students completing college.
And does that, do you feel that let's just put it this way, should the Department of Education be having a continued bigger role? I guess it's a great role when you can offer money out for people who are struggling and being able to do that, but should there be a greater institutionalized role to establish standards that are national? A lot of people think it doesn't make sense to have state by state, district by district standards when you see the performance of our students in science and math compared to other countries in the world. We need to elevate this, and we need to elevate it across the country.
Well, we're very excited to see that the Governors Association and the state chiefs, they're the ones that took the lead in developing a Common Core standards. And also, we see our role in supporting, but it is not our role to lead. It's the role of the governors and the state chiefs to do that work. What we're doing at the department is just providing technical assistance and support, helping share practices across the nation of places where we see that students are achieving and that things are coming together for them.
All right, well, we will continue to keep in touch with how that's going. Thank you so much for being with us again. I hope you'll visit with us on a regular basis.
It's always a pleasure, Ali.
Thank you very much. Thelma Meléndez de Santa Ana is the Assistant Secretary for Elementary and Secondary Education with the U.S. Department of Education.